So I'm doing this off my phone today because my computer has crapped out on me as I was trying to make a video. So here I am on my phone, so hopefully it's okay. My hair looks like this because I'm in the process of making it pink again. So ignore the craziness of my hair. But here, let me. Okay. Close enough. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to go over everything that we've missed for the past couple weeks because of Hurricane Irma and our house and the flooding and everything. But that is all stuff that doesn't even need to be worried about. What's important is that our adoption is moving forward. We're super excited. I do not like this angle. I want this angle. Ugh. That angle. Let's see. This is not working for me today. We're gonna have to deal with that ugly angle. Okay, guys. Sorry. Ah! Okay. We're semi-back on track. You're a little crooked, as you can tell. This painting is supposed to be straight. But whatever. What most important, it does not matter my angle. It matters through this. So let's go back to week 3. Yes, week 3. The booklets they give us are huge, so just give me 1 second. Week 3, we went over attachment. It was called Meeting Developmental Needs of Attachment. So it went over all different types of attachment. I take 1,500 notes when I'm in this class, so I have everything and anything for any questions. So it pretty much went over how attachment develops. It starts with a child feeling discomfort. They're crying. They're hungry. They express discomfort. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I want to go outside and play. The parent meets the child's needs. They feed them. They take them outside. They put them to bed. The child feels comfortable. And then it's a cycle. So it just goes just like that in a circle. And that is how they realize that it's how attachment develops. That is called arousal relaxation model. Usually they're hungry, they cry, you feed them, then they bond with you. And that is how attachment develops. That is how you create a bond with anybody. It's not always hungry, cry. Clearly, as an adult, that's not like how Robert won me over. I was hungry, I cried, he fed me. Actually, it could have been. Does work at any age. Who would have thought? In teens, it's independence. It's like doing their individual sexuality. It's wanting to know that their career path is being supportive. So say, for instance, that their child was like, man, I don't like where I'm going in my life. They tell you, oh, I think that, I don't like this career path. I want to change it. The parent meets the child's needs. Okay, let's go talk to a guidance counselor. Let's find you a new job. The child feels good in their new place. And then they bond. They're like, thanks, Mom and Dad, for helping me. So that's another non-food. When is it not about food? For instance, there is then it went over like abuse and how you can break that attachment bond. It can be through physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, or medical neglect, or emotional and psychological maltreatment. So each one goes into a little bit. I don't want to spend all day describing all those to you, but I mean, you can clearly get what physical abuse is, sexual abuse, neglect, medical neglect. It's pretty much saying like a kid had bad prenatal care is what medical neglect is classified as in this aspect, like parents who did drugs or drank while they were pregnant, and that kid has been just like, if a child is diabetic and they don't give them insulin, that's choosing to be negative medical neglect. I forgot that word. Oh my goodness. Another one is like where, for instance, there are babies born with heroin. They're addicted to heroin because their parents did it. Not getting that baby the treatment that they need would be medical neglect because that kid is clearly addicted to heroin because of the mom. And so they will need medication to help deal with the withdrawals from it. It is not easy to get off of drugs. I would not know. Let me make that very clear. But I've heard it's very hard to get off of drugs. So that is all aspects of it. Emotional and physical maltreatment is yelling at your kid, telling them you're worthless, you're pathetic, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, you're not doing good in school because you're stupid, things like that. And that can wear down on anybody of any age. I mean, I don't like when someone calls me stupid now and I'm 25. So I think about it, I'm like, I'm not stupid. So just imagine a little kid who isn't confident and isn't well established. I have a lot of confidence. So for me, I was kind of like, I'm not stupid, you idiot. But a little kid may be like, am I really stupid? So you have to take that into consideration, that age is a huge number with a lot of those things. I'm trying to find it. There was this little chart thingy. I'm trying to go fast because I have to do 2 weeks. I don't want to take your whole day out because I could. That's me. I love to talk. And we're flipping and we're flipping. This is a big chapter. Here it is. Okay, so here is the scale of attachment. You have less secure to more secure, and it's a double-sided arrow, so they can go up and down it. They can also be more than one of these. You have unattached, which is rare, and usually kids who are put into orphanages where they've never had parents. That's a lot. It's more for people who are adopting internationally. Kids who come from orphanages, they've never had parents. They were probably dropped off at an orphanage. How sad that is. And they've never been they've never had true mom and dad. There may be new orphanage workers. They may be 5 and they've been through 10 or 20 different caretakers. So that is a very rare thing. In the United States, it's not really that much of a thing. It's more, like I said, overseas and international. I have sticky notes. Disorganized is the next step. That is done by different behaviors. They act out of control and they can't express what they need. So it's more of like a kid who is so angry. They're like, my mom left me, my dad beats me, they drink, they don't love me, why'd you take me away from them? They're the only people I've ever known. It's so sided. They're just mad at everything. They're so disorganized in their life that they don't really know what's good for them and what's bad for them. Next is ambivalent. I'm moving my sticky notes around. And that is the kid who hides their feels and needs. So they hide their feelings and what they want. They're like, I don't want to be any problem. I just want to, they hide it. And what's sad is I read the next thing on my sticky note and it reminded me of a story that we read. I'm staring my dogs down. That's why I'm looking over there. They're barking at something. They were punished from their needs. They were told not to want things. They were told, like, they asked for food and their parents probably didn't feed them. They were like, oh, you had dinner earlier, so you can't be hungry now, type of thing, and sent them to the room, or beaten because they wanted simple human needs. So they choose to hide them. They don't ask. They don't tell you when they're hungry. They don't tell you when they're sleepy. They don't tell you when they want anything. They just let you give it to them. And I don't know about you, but I am not a mind reader, so I don't know when Isaac's hungry. I'm like, are you hungry? Do you want food? Like every 5 minutes. Or he gets his little butt up and goes opens the fridge and he'll get something out for himself because he's hungry and I didn't ask him. I don't know. That's just what he does. That's his new thing. So next is anxious, and that is clingy. It's a clingy kid. That is a kid who was probably put in a playpen all day, every day. Left with neighbors because they went to work. Told them to go to their room a lot, spent a lot of time alone. They were left alone a lot, pretty much. And so they're super clingy because they're someone who's giving them attention and someone who wants them to be around. They feel loved. They're like, oh my God, please don't let me go. Next is a healthy attachment. That is like a kid who's raised by me and Robert because we're great parents, Oh, no. It's a kid who gets every one of their needs met. They're crying, you help them. They're hungry, you feed them. They're tired, you put them to bed. They want to play outside, you take them to the park. You don't lock them up, you don't beat them, you don't hurt them. You do what's best for your kid. Your kid comes before everybody. So that is the way. You can have a kid with a healthy attachment who later their parents grow angry or they get a new baby and they can kind of slip down into it. So you got to remember, you have to balance. Every kid should be treated the same. I know they say, I don't know to experience this, but they say that, one kid's always the favorite. This is Artemis. One kid's always the favorite, and that's always a problem because even though parents may, have a favorite, you can't let the kids know that you have a favorite. So there's that. Quickly, this week is a great week for me because we get to have 2 classes in 1 week. Because of the hurricane, we had to miss that week's class, so we're making it up this week. So we have week 4 and 5, I believe. Yes, this week was 4. Meeting developmental needs of loss is what we're doing, or what we did. And it was so sad. I'm going to read quickly through some of the points that we made. There is pretty much the pathway to the grieving process, the 7 steps of grief, which are loss, which can be broken down into 3 things: health, self-esteem, and significant persons. And then you can go down from, so those are the different types of loss. And then you go to denial, bargaining, anger, which can be broken down into acting out or depression. And then so from anger, you go to understanding, and then coping, and then managing loss. So I took a whole lot of notes. I actually wrote more in Robert's book too about it. So when you lose someone, there's so many different ways of loss. So they say health. Someone who is sick or they have cancer, you know that you're going to lose them. That's still a loss, but it's a prepared loss. There's self-esteem. There's parents who talk down to their kids, like we said before, where they call them stupid or they call them ugly. You can lose your self-esteem, and that's something that you don't always vocalize. Or a significant person. When child is just pulled from a family and they're put into a foster care family, they're probably feeling the loss of their parents. Even though their parents were bad parents, they still feel lost for them because they were the only people they probably have known to take care of them their whole life. So those are different types of loss. Denial, you try to block it out. Bargaining, you try to make a deal. Anger, another one that can split into 2. So acting out, they say you act out your anger. So it's an outward emotion. The kids are angry. They're throwing tantrums. They're yelling at you. I think my whole thing of acting out that I wrote down is in Robert's book. I have no clue where that is. And then quiet is anger acting inward. So it's depression. They're quiet. They don't really talk to you. They don't really know what to say. They just kind of hide. They read a lot. Reading is not always a sign of depression, but this is how they deal with it. They do quiet activities. Understanding, it's usually by age that people come to terms with understanding more quickly. And they just understand what happened and why. Like why I was taken away from my parents. They were abusing me. Why my parents died. They were killed in a car wreck, or my mom had cancer. You know, why? And then coping. Coping is pretty much just, I'm getting better. I'm understanding. I'm moving along. And then managing loss is just, I'm good. The loss happened, and I'm super sad about it. But, you can't spend every day remembering the ones that you lost. And it's hard. Trust me, it's so hard to, think about the what ifs. What if they were here now? What if I didn't lose them? What if I went with them in the car? What if she didn't get cancer? But every day, the people you lose don't want you to sit here and be sad for them. They want you to love them and cherish them in the moments that you had. So that's a lot of managing loss. Loss is really hard for me. I have not experienced a lot of loss in my life. I've been very blessed I have 2 amazing parents that I've not lost. I had grandparents, but I was very young when I lost them. So there wasn't an extreme attachment there. I have not lost a lot of people I've been close to. I mean, there have been maybe 2 or 3 people that I've known who are my age that have died or killed themselves. And loss is hard in any form or fashion, but it's all about how you handle it. So, yay, that was this past 2 weeks stuff. I'm super excited for tonight. Hopefully I can make a vlog this weekend about why, because I know a lot of people have been asking me why I can't have any more kids, and it's really hard to talk about. But we'll get there. So, I love you guys, and I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Thursday. Bye.